All right. Least soluble. Did it give us a temperature?
No.
Wait. Oh.
Yes. Yeah. 20 degrees.
Okay, so 20 degrees Celsius would be along this line, right? So 20 degrees Celsius, least soluble. Where do we look along the 20 degrees Celsius line? Top, bottom, middle. Where do we look?
Bottom.
Bottom. So who's at the bottom at 20 degrees Celsius? Right here, right? We've already said that that's KClO what? KClO3. Everybody good with how we got that? All right, number 2. How do we find solubility of potassium chloride? First of all, which one of these is potassium chloride? KCl, potassium chloride. Chloride is ide. What does IDE mean? It means it's binary. Okay, binary means how many letters? Capital letters. 2. So KCl. All right, that's the first thing you need to remember that we're going to talk about this afternoon when we practice naming again. All right, IDE. So we're talking KCl. We're talking this line right here. All right, so what temperature did it give you? 80 degrees. So 80 degrees up to the line and over gives you what solubility? Now, that's 50 grams per what?
100.
Per 100 grams of water. Now, the question wants to know the solubility per what? Per 200 grams of water. Now, what did they do to the water in the question? They doubled the water in the question. If they doubled the water in the question, what do you do to the amount of solute in the question? You double it. All right, so if that's doubled, that has to be doubled too. So the 50 gets doubled to what?
100.
So it's 100 grams per 200 grams of water. All right, you think you can try number 3 now?
Yeah.
All right, try number 3. You got to find the compound, the temperature, and find the solubility. All right, we got it?
Yes.
All right, so which line are we reading up here? Yep, they said potassium nitrate, so KNO3 is correct. They told us to read it at what temperature? 40. What do you notice about this time at the intersection? It's sort of not on the line, is it? So you had to estimate. So what'd you estimate? 42 is fine. If you estimated 43, that's fine. It doesn't have to be exact. We're not all going to agree. Okay? 42 grams per 100 grams. Anybody say 43 grams per 100 grams? Anybody? No? Everybody agreed on 42? It's like never happened before. All right, so it said 42 per 100, but the question said per 300 grams, right? So what did they do this time? They tripled it, so what do we do to 42? So 42 times 3 is what? 126 grams. Now, in case you were not brave enough to say, yeah, I didn't put 42, I put 43, you would multiply 43 by 3 and get 129, okay? The biggest thing is it on the line? No, so it shouldn't have been on the line there. So 126 per 300. All right, number 4. Which salt shows the least change? Get back down here. All right, what did we say? I agree. NaCl is the flattest line that's up here. All right, number 5. At 30 degrees and 90 degrees Celsius, sodium nitrate is dissolved in 100 grams of water. Is this solution saturated, unsaturated, or supersaturated? All right, so we need to figure out which line and then plot it. All right, it said sodium nitrate, so which line is sodium nitrate? Okay, that's that line. And then 30 degrees and 90. 30 and 90 puts us right there. Where are we? I say we're under the line. So that makes us what? Unsaturated. Several people third period argued with me that we were on the line or close enough to on the line. Are we on the line? I said no. So I said unsaturated. Yes. All right, number 6. A lot of people struggle with number 6 because they don't know what to do with it. All right, when you look at that, first of all, what line are we reading? Which one of these is potassium chlorate? KCl or KClO3? Yep, so we're talking about this line right here. All right, and what else did they give us in the question that's useful? They gave us 80 and 50. So what can we read if they give us 80 and 50? Okay, so if they give us this 50 and this 80, what can we read from it? We can read up to the what? We can read up to the line and find the what? We can find this stuff, right? So from 50 up to the line, where do we go? Okay, we find 20 grams. And from the 80 up to the line and over, we find what? What do you suppose we would do with those two numbers? That's how much is precipitated. 40 minus 20 is what? 20 grams. That's what's precipitated. All right. Which compound shows a decrease in solubility? NH3. Why is it NH3? It's going down. All right. Who's the most soluble at 10? Why'd you pick Ki? It's all the way up. If you look at your 10 degrees, who's the highest on the line at 10? All right. Number 9. Which salt is least soluble at 50? Yep. And which salt is least soluble at 90? NH3 is the wrong answer. All right. What did I just tell you a little bit ago a salt was? Okay. You have to remember a salt is an ionic compound. Okay. NH3 is what kind of compound? It's covalent. So what does the question say at 90? All right. So at 90. All right. NH3 is here, which is why y'all all picked it. But NH3 is what kind of compound? It's covalent. So that can't be the answer. All right. So that's out. What's the next compound? NaCl. That's why it's NaCl, because it's ionic. Okay. You can't pick that one, and you can't pick that one because they're covalent. Okay. Questions about those two? Number 7. What's decrease? Which one goes down? Which line goes down? That's why it's NH3.
Yeah, let's take a nap.
I'd love to take a nap.
We need a nap. It's raining.
It is. Unfortunately, that's not on our to-do list today.
Please.
Nope.
Please.
Nope.
There's an N-word up there, and I clearly think it's a nap.
It doesn't. It doesn't. The good news is we're almost done.
Tom, can we have a nap?
No.
She didn't even know what was happening. Come on, McLaw, I'm stressed.
I'm stressed too.
Not like us.
I'm so sorry.
She might be. She's great. She's stressing her. She'll get home.
Stop.
See what I'm going? I was going to say, it's taking forever.
The good news is this time next week, most of y'all will have finished the exam and you'll be done with my class. Yeah. That's the. Does anybody know whose this is? It appeared in here a little while ago.
Shoot, let me have it.
It wasn't here first period. I went to the ladies' room and when I came back, it was here.
Let me see. Oh, it's
I don't know whose it is.
you got
Not
me.
Sarah,
Yeah,
because
Sarah.
she was in here when I got. That was in you and I.
I don't know. It wasn't here when I went to lecture. That's all I know. All right, so we're going to talk about two forms of concentration. Both of the equations are on your reference table. They are both very easy to calculate. You just need to know the formulas and how to use them, and you should be very successful in the exam if you see them. Okay? I said there are two formulas that use concentration. They are both on your reference table. The processes you already know how to use. We just need to know where the formulas are, practice a couple times, and you should be good. Okay? So, first of all, what is concentration? We've already talked about the word this semester, so we should be good. They are the number of particles in an amount of space. Now, that amount of space can be calculated in a multiple of ways. We used to have to calculate concentration in percent by mass, in molality, and in molarity. When I first started teaching, we even did normality.
Normality.
Yep. But the state, in their infinite wisdom, has trimmed concentration all the way down to just molarity. So they've chucked 3 of the 4.
Good.
So we only have to know how to do molarity. Now, we should be able to talk about what it means to be dilute or concentrated. Now, back last week and the week before, when we talked about solute and solvent, okay? If something is dilute, there is a lot of solvent or water and very little solute. So when we made our precipitates last week, because some of those chemicals are expensive, I gave you dilute solutions. 0.1 is pretty dilute. Now, sometimes we need to use concentrated acids, and I might give you 6 molar. 6 molar would be concentrated, and so we have a lot of solute and very little solvent or water. Now, you can think about this in terms of things that you guys make. If you make tea, all right, and you like to add lots of sugar because you like your sweet tea to be very sweet, okay, your tea might be a little more concentrated than someone else's sweet tea, okay? Some of it is too sweet, so it's too concentrated for you. Okay? I can't speak to that personally because I don't drink any of it. But if there's too much sugar, then it's too concentrated. If you're of the opinion that there's not enough sugar, then it's too dilute for you. Okay? You put what?
Salt.
All right.
Contrast in flavor. I think I'm weird.
I know people who salt pizza and fruit, and I think that's just odd. But
It is odd.
Watermelon and cantaloupe, you are great.
Okay, yeah.
a lot of people do
I like
that.
salt.
I don't either. It just makes fruit salty to me.
I
But
like the sugar.
people swear that it makes the flavor better.
It's sugar.
All right, has everyone caught up?
Oh my God, salt on donuts.
Did you just say you salted donuts? Thank God.
That's like the donut burger.
It enhances your experience.
I'll just have to trust you on that. I'm not putting salt on any of that stuff.
It works with anything. You like Pepsi, right?
Yes, and I'm not putting salt in it either. No.
A little bit.
No. Sounds to me like I'm ruining my drink. Now, you do not need to write what's in red up here. Okay? So, the only form of concentration that we're going to learn to calculate for the state test is molarity. Molarity is moles over liters. All right?
Get a while ago.
Nope. Now, the reason I said that you would be fine with this is everybody in here knows how to calculate moles. Everybody in here knows how to calculate liters. So all you need is the formula and we should be fine. It's a 3-variable equation. If they give you molarity and want moles, then you have molarity in liters and you cross multiply. If they give you moles and liters, you divide to get molarity. Now, I'm not going to write that formula out every time. So that's the shorthand I tend to write. Big M equal moles over liters. Now, sometimes students will say, Ms. Wall, how am I supposed to keep that straight with the gas law formula? First of all, gas laws will talk about pressure and temperature. Is this going to talk about pressure and temperature? No, it's not. It's going to talk about solutions and water. Now, the units you may use are either writing capital M or you can write moles over liters. Either one is acceptable. I tend to write big M because I'm lazy. Some people prefer to write moles over liters. You choose. It makes absolutely no difference to me which one you write. Okay? Getting tired of walking back and forth. If I charge you a toll, I could retire.
Yeah. I've written all the other subject papers for them. 10 cents a sheet.
I think that's fair.
Oh, let's have to share our stuff on
All right, everybody got it?
The only thing I shared with her was my slides. Now my
Everybody there?
I wrote.
All right. So here's a typical question. All right, write it down and we'll solve.
Well, she said, what are you talking about, right? Like, analyze it? Well, she didn't specify, so. Yeah, it's not funny, Did you share it with them?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and share my slide. I didn't even, I read like page 50. Yeah, I did everything too.
That's
I read
exactly what I
mine
did.
but she didn't. I did nothing. I read most of it, but not all of it. It's like she didn't, no, it feels like she gave it to like a big.
Yeah, it feels like that time was fast.
Plus everything else she put on top of that kind of made it worse.
Yeah. And did y'all do that that my aunt,
I did that.
I did that. I didn't know it was due today. I thought it was due on Thursday. Oh, we have to do.
Yeah,
I am statement boxes.
Like,
Yeah, well, you want to do 3 of them?
Yeah. They're not that bad, like, it's only a page type, it's not bad. Because I mean, like, I did my page type and I did type from the phone.
All right, we got it?
What was this?
Anyway.
All right, so we look at the question. What are they asking you to find?
Molarity.
All right, so what 2 things do we need to find molarity?
Moles.
Moles and what? So, what do we know a gram can go to? What do we know a milliliter can go to? Now, this is why I say you have all the skills that you need to solve this question. Okay? So, 225 grams. Everybody in here knows how to change a gram into a what?
Sorry.
Pay attention over there. So, what do we put beside moles?
One.
How do we get the grams?
C6H12O6.
What's the mass of that?
180.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just write 180.
oh.
Everybody remember how to do that? And then 750 milliliters. Milliliters to liters. What goes beside liters?
One. Because
How many milliliters in a liter? That's one I told you I'd memorize. It's a whole lot easier than you having to do King Henry Dye. Okay, I only had a couple people run out of time in the fall, but I did have some people run out of time. 750 divided by 1,000, 0.75. Okay, so there's your liters. 225 divided by 180, 1.25. All right, so my formula is big M equal moles over liters. I know big M is what I'm looking for, right? My moles are what? My liters are? So all I have to do is what? So 1.25 divide 0.75, and I get 1.66. Now, I have a choice. I can either write my units as moles over liters, because I divided a mole over a liter, or I can just write it as big M. Doesn't matter to me which one you do. I have a tendency to write big M. However, if you prefer to write 1.66 moles over L, which is the way I did it in most of the equilibrium problems, it's fine. Questions about how to do that? All right, let's try one more. We solve for something different. All right. You want to write that one down or no?
Yeah.
All right. Give me just a minute and I'll staple a couple more of these stupid practice tests.
Who are you giving a practice?
Who do you think I'm giving practice tests?
The third period. Third period.
You and third period are the same, by the way, genius.
Oh my God, so you're giving us practice tests?
I was trying to have us not have one. That's why we're getting everybody to quit.
Well, y'all don't have to study for the exam. I don't care if your score is high or low. Your grade is your grade. I mean, I prefer for y'all to raise your grades, given that 50% rule, but I mean, you'd be surprised what 50% can do. Particularly if you're hovering in a C range, you can certainly pull it to the B range. Or a B possibly to an A.
I don't like it's the first period. This one,
Yeah,
I take more.
sure.
You still ain't went back to three.
Ah,
Today.
No, wait, let us
okay. All right, I'll let you figure it out. This one's pretty easy. You should be able to figure it out. Come on, you're doing it. People want to figure it out.
Sorry. Sad story.
Find the answer, Mr. Sad Story.
What's the mass of?
Unfortunately, the answer then is yes.
I ran over a bird. I don't even know how that
It flew in front of you. It didn't catch the convection current in time.
It stayed in the road. I tried to drive like over it, but it moved in front of my car.
What happens? Birds are not any brighter than squirrels. They zig when they're supposed to zag.
But see, the squirrel I ran over, I didn't even kill it. I just scratched his back.
Could this be?
That happens too, unfortunately. And then you have to pray the car behind you comes by and finishes the job.
Not because they went in the grass. I was like trying to climb up a tree.
And that's just tragic.
Yeah, that was kind of before that. Yo, I feel like a pack of like 8 years.
You're not gonna have a bad luck for 8 years because you hit a squirrel.
I said 8 years.
Tiffany, you got it?
Yeah.
All right, so what we doing?
Oh, you got it.
What we got today?
So you got, they gave you the
All right, we gotta find grams, so we gotta do what? Tell me what to do step by step.
So 1.5.
Do the formula.
Okay, so the formula is Molarity equal moles over liters. So I got the formula.
It's 1.5.
All right, so 500 milliliters is 0.5 liters. So where am I putting it? Okay, so 0.5 goes here. Let me fix that a little bit here. 0.5 goes here. You said put moles on top. Good. Okay, 1.5 there. So I do what? Okay, so that'll be 0.75 if I do that right in my head. All right, 0.75 moles. All right, good. All right, convert it to grams. So moles on the bottom. Grams, 1 mole, and 40. What's that? 30?
Yeah, should be.
Somebody check my math. Because I did all that in my head.
You smart. We trust
Yeah,
you.
you're right.
Y'all would let me leave wrong answers up here rather than fix it. All right, so the second formula
That's right.
is an easy one too. Because this works like a gas law formula. So, dilution. All right. The dilution formula is, okay. All right. When I have to make acids, or if I have solutions already mixed in the back, all right, it's much easier if I just take something and I dilute it rather than buying specific concentrations. It'd be very expensive for us if I bought all these chemicals at a particular concentration. So, it's up to you. You need the orange, if nothing else. So, if I buy 12 molar HCl, which is what I buy, okay? I buy it in giant bottles that look like, I think they come in 2.5.
Yeah.
No, they're not 2.5 gallons. I think they're 2.5 liters because the glass is really thick. So I think they're 2.5 liters of HCl. Okay, I can dilute that acid to any concentration I want. And I buy nitric acid that way, hydrochloric. I don't have acetic anymore. Because we don't use acetic much anymore, which is just vinegar. So I just buy vinegar because we use it so little. Okay, but I can dilute it to anything I want to. So what is the M and the V going to stand for in that formula? Because I think it's pretty obvious, and I think you will too. What's the M stand for?
And what?
In that orange formula.
What's the big M?
What is it? So I'm asking you.
Molarity.
Molarity, and what's the V?
Volume.
Right, and it works just like a gas law. So what do you know about these two things?
That one.
Yes, they're a pair. So if you have this molarity, it has to stay with what?
That one.
That volume. And this molarity has to stay with that volume. Okay? So, again, the units have to do what?
Match.
Match. So does this volume have to be a particular volume? No. It can be in milliliters. It can be in liters. It doesn't matter as long as they match. Everybody good with that? All right. So here's a typical problem. Write it down and we'll solve.
Got it.
Because these are, I think, pretty easy also. And then we'll practice a little bit, and then we're going to start nuclear chemistry today.
No.
Because tomorrow we're going to start review.
Who's it?
We're not taking a nap. It's going to rain most of the week.
Are we
We
having any
cannot
more
sleep
quizzes?
most of the Huh?
Are we having any more quizzes?
Nope.
Good, Jesus.
The last thing that I'll take up for a grade are openings. And that's what did we say, Thursday? Is that what we figured out in here, Thursday? Because I think tomorrow's the last day in third period.
The second period. I mean, not third period.
Because they were here on Friday. So I think their
Well, I
last
still
day.
have some ACT boot camp stuff. Can I give them to you?
Huh?
Can I give you my little passes from the boot camp?
Depends. I'll only take one homework and one quiz.
That's all they need.
I'm bringing them tomorrow. I need to bring my abscesses. My first one is horrible.
Low-key, I thought about asking them if they could use one of the abscesses for something else, because I'm good with all abscesses. I don't even need it.
Let me get it.
Me too.
All right, we got it? All right, so tell me this. What's a couple or a pair up there in the question?
350 million to 0.75.
Okay. So when you read this, all right, you see that this and this is a pair, okay? They have to go together and they have to stay together on one side. Doesn't matter which one they are. Now, how can you tell that this is going to fit a dilution formula? Okay? How do you know that this is dilution? Because does it say dilution anywhere up here in the question?
No.
Mm-mm. Okay? So, how do you know?
Because it's about solution. All the same.
It's got the same compound. Okay? The compounds don't change. All right? Because the compounds stay the same. That's how you know it's a dilution formula. All right? Now, if they're different, it's probably a titration, and you have no idea how to solve titration on the exam, use this formula and pray for the best. Okay? If it's a 1-to-1 ratio, this formula will work. If it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, you're screwed. You got no option. Hope for the best. Okay? So, just being honest. So, if this is a pair, we're going to put in 0.75 for molarity. Volume is 350 milliliters. The units have to match. The new molarity is 12, and we need to know V2. Now, because this was in milliliters, that means our volume is going to turn out to be in what? Milliliters. It's that simple to solve using dilution. So 0.75 times 350, divide 12, I get 21.8.
21.9.
Okay, I'll round up for Xavier and put milliliters there. Everybody good with that formula? Think you can practice for a second? Make sure everybody's good. And then we're going to start nuclear.
Oh, dang, we already moving on.
Yes, we are. We're not practicing this for long.
So is it?
Y'all are
is
going to be good with
nuclear-
this. Huh?
Nuclear take a long time?
Nuclear is easy. That's why we're going to do it.
Okay.
We
And
have
done-
time
and then we
for
done
that.
for the day.
We do not have
And then we
time.
done for the day, right?
Yes, look,
We
Right.
have
You're
enough
supposed to be
time
done.
for it now.
We do not have time.
and it's
for
only
that.
Look,
ten
if
We're going to
Forty-six.
take a nap and we're moving on nuclear now.
We still got 55 more minutes. This will take like what? 15, 20 minutes. Then we can nap the rest of the time. Turn off the lights. I got you counted.
All right, do the odd numbers. All right, do the odd numbers. That'll only give us 5.
Go.
Not taking long. It is. All right.
We got a week. 2 weeks of school.
No, we got like 7 days.
Y'all should have left. Y'all
No,
or
we got
less.
this week.
Y'all should
I
have
got
left.
this
You
week,
got
and I
baby
was
class.
back in school 2 days.
All right, but if we're not gonna practice, I'm moving on to nuclear. Come on.
7 days.
5 questions. The odds. They get a calculator. Come on.
Come on, Steve, you give me one.
Oh, is this practicing with the, okay.
You're just practicing with these 2 formulas.
Okay, that's
Somebody do this and drop me the answer.
How about you do it yourself? Because it's not hard. And you have the skills to do it.
Are we gonna use this paper again?
Nope, it's only got a front.
Twenty-three plus 34. Five. Watch it be great.
So, 1 divided by 3 + 5
Yeah,
= 2.8.
it's 23. Old enough. Basically one. So it's one bowl.
Is it? Yes.
That is a very good question, Blackwell. Unfortunately, you and I both know that some people get away with bloody murder around this joint. It is ridiculous.
How many grams is the difference?
One.
That's 3 years.
What's the answer?
Oh, 3.5.
So number one.
Maybe that's it.
I ain't here.
I got one.
It's 101. It's point eight.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Do we have to do significant digits?
No. Sure.
How many grams?
Well, I mean,
So the answer, does she have the answer key there?
See, you
did you draw your picture yet? I have a feeling.
Oh.
What the fuck is you smacking your lips at?
It's bad.
I have the right numbers, but I just
It is.
thought it was.
I didn't put something right there and now I got to go in the right.
What the fuck?
Right.
I don't want to color pencils. I'm a big one that goes through the walls and You better stop.
Put my paper down. All right, bet.
I'll leave if you give me another one.
Bet.
No, bro, you can have it. No, I want it.
Miss Wall, Xavier took my drink.
She threw my papers on the floor.
Really? Where?
All right.
They're on your desk.
Give her drink back and act your age.
And you stop hitting people.
In a minute, I'm gonna call Miss Harvey to get both of them. You know, she really likes Jake.
You want a hug, Miss Wall?
I don't need a hug. It's hot
I
and
do. I
sticky
need
in
a
here.
hug. She just.
It's hot and sticky.
I need a
Tell
hug.
me.
I need a hug.
It's hot and sticky in here. Tell me.
It's okay.
She just flipped me off.
Y'all smell like some
Ashton is 32,
Don't.
right?
You don't care. She just flipped me off.
At your age,
She flipped me off.
you're going in the military and that's all you got?
You gotta try to get people in trouble.
Like, does he want like- let me see.
32.
Bro, I'm not.
All right, who's not done?
Me.
Oh. You done, Mario? Let me see.
101.
You checked your answers up there?
Yeah.
You checked?
Why is this always upside down?
Because usually when I need to see them, I don't like to look at them upside down. Just say.
All right.
You got 'em right?
Would that make other people happy? Would that make you happy? No. I'm doing that right.
No. Your finger look like a burnt hot dog. It's all around. Do it again.
Jay, bring it back. Ew, why your finger look like that?
That shit ugly.
Feels like my finger.
Boy, no. You look like your finger. What
Would you like to do your work? Let me see
you over
yours.
here trying to burn like?
Xavier, you done?
I'm laughing at
He
her.
feel like his finger. Put your finger up and stand up. I'm about to burn you up.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna burn you up, and then you gonna be crying. You gonna be crying. This morning. Why can't y'all be friends? I hate you.
There you go.
I do.
I didn't do that.
I can use the bathroom, but I got up the bathroom.
Dude, I'm like, I'm about to start
It's
sweating.
only 10 minutes.
I don't care.
Here's Xavier.
Can I be on my phone? Huh? Can I be on my phone during lunch attention?
No.
Yes. Oh, I'm going. Can I go to the bathroom?
I don't care. You want to serve lunch station, serve lunch station.
Lunch attention different from other people's attention.
I'm nice with other people. What kind
It's
of?
only
It's not like
10
she don't know. She already know how her lunch attention goes. Cause Miss Hutchins,
Your mom.
if you got
Yes.
now her
Your
class,
bald headed granny.
she takes y'all.
Your mama ain't got
You
your
can't know her,
nobody.
you can't look at nobody, you can't
They
talk
got
to
you.
nobody.
Can't do work.
No, you can't even work from like other classes unless it's her class.
Yeah, I can't.
How long is it?
Library.
Hers, 15 minutes.
Somebody else called me a
Every
ranger.
detention you get 15 in her class.
Either
Either you sit there and do her work, or you don't do it
That's
at all.
what I hate.
You can't sleep, if you sleep, you get brought up.
Yeah.
And if you're late to detention, you get brought up too for skipping.
Here's our text from you.
2 hours.
I had detention.
Guess what? Last 15 minutes accidentally nodded off and got run over. And had to do what you had.
I would have been mad. 2 hours. I think the most I ever did was like 30 minutes.
I did before.
And it was just because I went to the bathroom. That was the only reason I went to detention every class.
2 hours.
I had a big forehead.
It's all right, we all have big foreheads.
You got 5 heads.
Look at my forehead. Is it my forehead big?
No.
Oh.
Tim got a big forehead. You had a dome. I'm funny. I'm good.
Yeah, well, I heard people good.
I said, you shut up.
You shut up.
You getting burned
Shut
by
up.
day. Y'all burning each other by your own finger.
I don't know what else to put right here, Samaria.
To me.
Yeah. They gonna put some books.
To me.
I just put some books.
I just gave you an idea.
Yeah, if I put you, I'm gonna get a back right on. No.
Fine. Whatever. Don't talk to me.
Girl, are you gonna be talking to me today? Anyway. Not today, Samaria. That's not okay.
What do you mean? You started with me.
I didn't say nothing to you.
You don't have to. I could be doing something. You just got something.
I was asking for
What's funny?
Y'all do. But.
you funny.
Look at
All right, are we done?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, something around.
All right, so there are questions.
You funny.
Can I call out the answers?
Yes.
All right, so question 1. Should have an answer of, now it's upside down, Samaria. I hope not.
Ew,
We have seriously missed the boat. All right. Number 1 should be 0.285.
5.
0.28?
Yeah.
All right. 0.283 is fine. Number 3, 101 grams. Number 5, 2.3.
What'd you say?
Number 3 is 101 grams. Did you get somewhere in the ballpark of 1 mole?
Yeah, but I thought we had to,
You do. You have to change it to grams.
okay, and it's 100 and something?
101.
Yeah, I'm gonna mess it up again.
What'd you get for the mass?
Oh, I know what I did. I'm dividing the thing with one. Okay, yes, I know what you want. Continue.
Okay. Number 5 was 2.3. Are we okay on that one? All right. Number 7, 16.6 milliliters. Or if you changed it to liters, 0.016 liters. And number 9, 150 milliliters or 0.15 liters. Questions about any of those? Are we okay with those? Yes? No? So did everybody get them right?
Yes.
Okay. Number 5, you have 0.1 and 150. You said 5? So you have 0.1, you have 150, so 0.15, because you got to change it to liters. All right, you're going to cross multiply, right?
Right.
So you get 0.015 moles. And now you're going to change moles to grams. So 1 mole, and then you got to add up copper sulfate. So when you add up copper sulfate, I got 100 grams. No, I didn't. That's 160. Can't read my handwriting. 160. You need me to show you how I got 160? Okay. I mean, I'd have had 1 copper, 1 sulfur, and 4 oxygen. So multiplied by the masses.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
try mine in tomorrow. Probably not,
Yeah.
but
That's what grades are how much? 20%?
figure out what everything else is.
All right. Anything else on the 5 problems? All right. The last thing we're going to do is nuclear chemistry. If we have time, all right, we will. What on earth is that?
Is that what you was gonna say?
No, we're not taking a nap.
I heard you say that.
And then if we have time, we don't have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Get on our phone and take a nap.
Yeah.
We don't have time for a nap, so stop it. There's always time.
You can let us
Take one this afternoon when you get home.
I wish.
Pretty good.
Xavier, are you still a plumber?
Nah.
So we're going to hit the highlights of nuclear chemistry because it's easy. And if you get one of these questions on the exam, odds are good you can either get the right answer or you can eliminate a lot of the answer choices to make your guess probably pretty successful. Okay? So that's only going to leave you with maybe 2 or 3 questions on acids and bases that we haven't covered. Okay? So out of 45 questions, you're probably only going to see 2 or 3 that we haven't covered this semester. So it's really only 45 questions. The 5 of those are field test items that won't count against you. You just won't be able to tell which ones are field test items. Okay?
Y'all better not take me tonight.
What should have?
Most years, I have people who go pretty close to the entire time. Some physical science typically does not, but chemistry goes pretty close to 2 hours. Last year, I had both classes go the full 2 hours. I had 2 who didn't finish. 1 at least bubbled everything, but I had 1 who didn't even finish bubbling. Okay?
It's on the computer, right?
But some years, I have people finish a whole class and there's a half hour left. So it'll just depend on y'all.
It's on the computer, right?
It's on the computer.
I hate this on the computer.
I will not keep your phones the entire 4 hours. No. The Wi-Fi is shut off. So as far as I'm concerned, if whoever's in here keeps your phones, I will give them back to you when I get back here. Miss Henson has told us we can. So I will not keep them until 12:30. Okay? You're on your own data plan the entire week. So I don't care what you do. The biggest thing that I will tell you is that you will have to turn them in. If you are seen with a phone because you chose not to give the phone, the manual has changed. The rules have changed this year. If you are seen with a phone, it is an automatic test misadministration according to the state guidelines this year.
After 2 hours?
No, during the test. Not, once the test is over and we've read the final directions and told you don't share, blah, blah, the test is over, you are allowed to have your phones back. But during the 2-hour testing period, if you have a phone and the administrator sees you with the phone for any reason, it is a misadministration. Now, I'm assuming they won't declare the entire class a misadministration, just your test a misadministration. So unless you just want to come back and hang out with us on Friday, I would give your phone to whoever our administrator is. I mean, I'm going to leave them a bucket or something. They're probably going to set it on the front desk up here. So give it to them so that you don't have to come back on Friday. If they don't give it back to you, as soon as I get back here, I'm going to give it back to you. Ms. Henson told us we can give you your phones back. I have no desire to keep your phones. I'm certainly not going to leave mine off for 4 hours. I mean, I turn mine off for the test. I put it in airplane mode, and I turn it back on when I'm done testing in the room that I'm assigned to, just like y'all do. I don't have Wi-Fi for the week. Y'all don't have Wi-Fi for the week. If your parents are going to be using your data plan, knock yourselves out.
Man, the school Wi-Fi not good, no, but.
I'm just telling you, the school Wi-Fi will be off from Monday through Friday.
Yeah, download
Okay.
VPN.
Just beware that they will turn it off Monday morning, and it will not come back up until probably the following Monday. They might turn it back on sometime Friday for the staff, but it will be down all week. So that's why I'm telling you they'll let you have your phone. Okay?
So pretty much after Monday, you have no Wi-Fi.
Pretty much after Monday morning, you have no Wi-Fi. Okay? In here, while I'm talking hush, the periodic tables will be covered probably Friday. I will try to do that first period because we have a slightly longer first period for those of you who don't know that. Dr. Duncan's and Zellman's year-long American history and Microsoft class have to take their NCFEs and vocats tests on Friday. If they finish early, they'll go ahead and send us on, but that's designed to be a 2-hour plus class on Friday because they have to test Friday. So your class in here will be shorter on Friday because I think they only shorten the second period Friday. Everything else is a normal day. Chairs will be moved. You'll have assigned seats when you come in to test on Tuesday. No, you can't move your test
Wait.
or your desk. Yeah, but I won't do that until Friday because I've got a whole first period Friday.
Everybody gonna be in the desk?
Everybody will be in a desk. Nobody will be a lab counter. Everybody has an assigned desk. It is a desk. Even Justice loses his table for the exam. Everybody gets a desk. It has sticky notes on it. I don't know who your administrator will be. It doesn't matter. Typically, I get social studies and somebody in social studies this year, but sometimes it's math. Don't play with the computers when you come in. Sometimes I lock the door and Ms. Bowers will let y'all in once your administrator gets here. If it's social studies, they have really crappy computers, so they might be a minute, so be patient. Other than that, just be kind and give them your phones when they ask for them, so you don't have to come back and retest on Friday. Okay? That's the biggest thing that's changed.
For the SAT, do we need a school ID or?
Any kind of ID. It can be school ID, it can be if you have your school ID like this, it will work fine.
Take a driver's license.
You can take a driver's license. Okay? You can, either one will be fine. If you don't have either, go by guidance and they can print you a piece of paper that's an ID. But any of that will work. But you have to have some form of ID. But school IDs are fine.
Do you know what time it is on Saturday?
You have to be here
Come here like 7.
45-ish.
Yeah, 7:45.
It's early. Yeah. It's early.
It's over there in the break club.
Yeah, it's early. It's in the annex building.
It's not hard.
Okay. All right. So, what are the 3 types of nuclear radiation? Anybody heard of this before?
No.
Baden hasn't picked it off the song. All right. They're alpha, beta, and gamma. Okay. Now,
Are you gonna write stuff under it?
very little. I'm just gonna write the symbols. Let me see what I have in here. I'll tell you what I'm gonna write. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna write anything under it, since I have separate slides for each of them. Alpha, beta, and gamma. Now, I would like to think you've seen this before, but unless you've had physical science like Baden has, odds are good that none of your other teachers would have talked about it.
Earth gamma radiation.
Okay.
It turns you into the Hulk.
Turns you into the Hulk. Okay. Gamma we've talked about when we did electromagnetic radiation way back when we read the back page of our reference table. It was on our chart. All right. Everybody caught up? Now, if we look at alpha radiation, okay? Alpha radiation, and I'm giving you the down and dirty version. This is not the extended version. All right, is a helium nucleus. Okay, just a helium nucleus. There's more I could tell you, but I'm not going to. Now, its symbol, because it's a helium nucleus, is a He with a 4 and a 2. Okay? If it's a helium nucleus, we symbolize it with a helium, because it is the helium nucleus, and it has a 4 and a 2 on it. As review for this afternoon, what does the 4 stand for those of you who are not going to be here?
It's the oxidation number.
Nope. Okay, we got a lot to do this afternoon.
It's a number.
That's the mass. That's the number. Atomic mass and atomic number. So the mass on a helium nucleus is 4. The atomic number on a helium nucleus is 2. Okay? Now, which apparently I had space for right there. Now, you should remember that the atomic number tells the number of what? Protons, and the atomic mass tells the number of what? Neutrons. Now, since I said it's a helium nucleus, what's not in there? Electrons. Okay? Everybody got it? Okay? Now, the beta particle, or beta radiation. All right? It's an electron formed in the nucleus. So this is not your normal electron that's in the electron cloud. Okay? This is an electron formed in the nucleus. Essentially, a neutron breaks apart. Okay? A neutron breaks apart. Its symbol, because it's an electron, is an E with a 0 and a -1. Now, again, the 0 stands for the mass. This is the charge. All right, the mass is a 0, the charge is a -1. I hope you're, carrying your phone with you every time you come and go, count your steps.
Well, I guess
All right, we caught up? All right, so the last form of radiation is gamma radiation. Right there? Okay. So gamma radiation is a high energy wave. Okay, so its symbol is going to either say just gamma, or sometimes it will use the Greek symbol, but typically it's just going to say gamma. Now, before we move on, we need to talk about which of them are the strongest, weakest, and what it will penetrate. Say what? Yeah, it does sort of look like, those old elementary school birds used to draw.
Boy, no, I have some good old artistic Picasso birds.
What?
She had good quality Picasso birds.
You know what?
wow.
Do you know artistic things?
Yeah, like that.
High energy wave. Wait,
What
so is actually what they're doing to the whole Hey.
That's fiction. Sort of like Kryptonite and Superman. It's all fiction.
That's real.
Okay.
There's something.
Krypton is a gas. Kryptonite being a green rock is fiction.
The gas from the rock is what?
So you believe a spider bit the dude turned him into Superman
Most
too?
definitely. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Wait, you don't know. You used the wrong analogy.
Okay. 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 Fine. It does.
It makes
So,
sense.
whatever, dudes. So if you have alpha radiation, beta, and gamma,
Whatever.
if we have those three, all right, which one would be the strongest? Which one would be the weakest? What would you think?
Alpha the
would be
strongest.
No, gamma would be the strongest and beta would be the weakest.
I like gamma's the strongest.
Yes. 'Cause
And alpha will be.
Alpha's the weakest. All right, so alpha is the weakest of the three. Okay, gamma is the strongest. All right, so if alpha is the weakest, okay, what can stop alpha radiation? Y'all are using it right now.
Air.
You are breathing. That is correct. I was thinking something you're currently using.
Lead pencils.
Yes, you are.
Carbon graphite.
What are y'all writing on?
Paper.
Yes.
Paper.
Okay, alpha radiation can be stopped by paper.
What?
Okay, just hold up a sheet or two of paper and you're good to go. It's okay, they want to stop it by pencil.
You said.
You're using paper also.
I mean, the first thing everybody gonna say is breathing.
Right.
Oh,
I
everybody's gonna say pencil.
I asked them, they're using it right now and they said oxygen, breathing.
We are using the pencil.
Even Dr. Phillips rolled his eyes. Come on now.
That's why they gonna be stuck.
One more school, some more classroom, come on. Then test. Working on it. Ain't getting
All right, so gamma radiation we said was the strongest,
Wait,
right?
go back on that one slide.
Right. I can make money.
Okay, so alpha can be stopped by paper.
Me too.
All right, so if gamma's the strongest, what can it be stopped by? Uh-huh. Okay, if you've had x-rays at a dentist, they've put a lead vest on you. Where's the dental adjuncts go?
Oh,
They're still on the outside.
Because they're behind the what?
Well,
What's in the wall?
lead.
Probably not.
Ooh, cement.
wood.
Okay, stop by lead or concrete.
Finish all I gotta get.
Okay, you can stop gamma radiation by lead or concrete. Now,
What,
the only thing we need
what's
to talk
beta
about is
stop
what will stop
by?
beta. Okay, what will stop beta radiation? What?
I don't know. She
You
said
got it at home in the drawer.
Silverware.
Yes, you do.
Aluminum.
All right, it might be in a cabinet. It might not be in a drawer. It's probably with like plastic wrap and
Paper plates.
baggies, aluminum foil.
I
That would be wrong.
I said it once.
That would be
Well, I
correct,
said
yeah.
it twice and I said it before you.
No, I said it.
All right, both of you are correct. Now, the only thing about the aluminum foil is you have to fold it multiple times so it's got some thickness to it. Now, if you buy the grilling foil, you can probably fold it 2 or 3 times and be fine. But if you have that really thin kind, you're going to have to fold it multiple times to give it some thickness. Does everybody have what we need? Huh?
Walmart.
You can get it at Walmart. You can probably get it at Food Line. Yeah, it's got a thick, it's thicker than regular foil. It's expensive too. I don't buy it. Okay? Yes, you can call it tinfoil. A lot of older people do, but technically it's not tin. Okay? Tin is SN, aluminum is AL. Technically they're 2 different metals, but a lot of older people will still refer to it as tinfoil. But technically it's aluminum foil, not tinfoil. right, everybody caught up?
First, outside, inside, last.
Mhm.
Remote control.
Anybody actually teach it that way anymore?
Mr. Estrada.
Okay.
Wait, so.
What, first
what if-
outside, inside last?
Mm-hmm.
I hate that.
So it's easy like that.
Well, that's why I was going back
What
to
if
it.
their body, what happens if their body is exposed to?
Did you have tape?
radiation?
It could cause a mutation or it could cause cancer.
He was crazy.
How does that work?
Who tape?
Ask
I
a
like
biology
Miss
teacher.
Miller.
I've never had her.
All right, do we have it? All right. So one of the things that you should be able to compare and contrast is how are they similar and how are they different? So if I write the symbols up here in the blocks, our helium has a 4 and a 2. What?
You got a pad.
Do you have any hall passes left?
I have two left.
You want to burn them the week I'm going to give the points to you?
I mean, I gotta go.
Okay. I got you.
He said,
I understand.
Go.
I don't really need them that much.
Okay.
y'all some funny kids.
All right, so Tomas.
You should give like an extra credit packet.
No,
That'd be
No,
nice.
who's doing that?
that would be bathroom passes and after school tutorial.
I need the pass.
It's on the door, same place it's always been. All right, so what would be the mass of an alpha particle?
4,
Yep.
8.
I cannot see.
All right, so an alpha would have a mass of 4. All right, what would be the mass on a?
0.
Remember, it's a nucleus.
+2.
It'd be +2, right? Because the only thing that an alpha has are protons. Okay, because it has no electrons. So you got 2 protons. All right, what's the mass on a beta particle? A beta particle has what mass?
0.
Has 0, because it's an electron, right? And remember, 0 means negligible. Doesn't mean it has no mass. It means it's so small it doesn't count.
-1.
All right, and what's this charge?
-1.
-1. Okay? Because it's just an electron. Now, gamma, what's its mass?
NA.
Okay, why'd you say Na?
Because it's the
Not
symbol is a
Y.
Y.
Okay, and what did we say gamma was?
That's a wave, energy wave.
Does energy have a mass? No. Okay? So, will it have a charge? No. Okay, so if the statement says which of those is heaviest, which of those is heaviest?
Alpha.
Alpha. Who's biggest?
Gamma. Alpha.
No,
Alvin. I don't need to
They.
Who's heaviest?
Alpha.
So who's the biggest?
Alpha.
Alpha.
Yes. Okay. Just check.
Oh.
Alpha.
I was kidding about the fee. Hey, Phillips. Can't hear me. I think he took me seriously about the fee. Went the back way.
It was this record way. She ain't charging.
Apparently not. I'm charging a toll, so he's going the back way. All right, everybody got it? Okay, tell me when you do. Now, we also have to learn to balance equations to have these on.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God.
They're easy. If you can add and subtract, you can do these.
No.
What if I can't?
Okay, I can't fix if y'all can't add and subtract.
Hey, look, you know what? Just kidding.
Kid, you got a calculator over there.
Alright,
You have a calculator over there. It's your friend today.
you go.
All right. So, alpha decay. Don't worry about what it is. It's just basically the loss of an alpha particle. Okay? That's all you got to know. Now, the important part is being able to write and balance an equation. Beyond that, all you got to know is it's an alpha particle that you lose.
We should have all this easy stuff and at the end of the year, that way all the hard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe my grade a little better. Maybe you're mad.
You should have seen what I got though.
And you got a 98.
Oh, I got a 69 last week.
Tragic.
It was bad.
Oh, you should have seen mine, man.
Like, didn't everyone do bad on that quiz?
What quiz?
The last quiz?
I don't remember the last quiz.
I did pretty good.
What was the last quiz?
Mom said that he said
I
highest
had 85.
Oh, I had 85.
Oh, yeah, the multiple choice one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty bad. I only had 100 and it was in third.
What happened in our school?
Why, did it crash?
They don't show me none of my grades and all my classes no more.
You do at the bottom of that.
Well, the bottom of like the subject.
Like my dashboard is
If it's out, then they.
Mine always works, but it's just like I was looking at them and they just disappeared.
All right, is everybody caught up?
Yeah.
Now, what do we know about the left side of the equation and the right side of the equation?
What?
The left side is the product and the right side is the reaction.
Okay.
The left side has bigger numbers than the right side is small.
What do we know about the numbers on the left and the numbers on the right?
Numbers on the left is that.
The numbers on the left have to do what with the numbers on the right? They gotta equal. Okay? That's what I was looking for. Okay? So, yeah, really. So, Maria said, these are the reactants, these are the products. That's all true. But what I need you to remember is the numbers on the left have to equal the numbers on the right with balancing, correct?
Right.
So, what's the mass that's on the left?
238.
So, the masses on the right have to equal what?
238.
If you can remember that concept, you can balance these equations. So, what mass do I have right here?
4.
So, I need what plus 4 to give me 238?
234.
Okay? My atomic number is what?
90.
What plus 2 will give me 92?
90.
Now, did that sound very technical?
Oh.
Really? Oh, over there. I can't do this. Now, which of those numbers will tell us the element, the mass or the atomic number? Yes, the atomic number. I know. 4 days before the exam. We got a little work to do. So, when we look at 90, which element up there goes with 90? Who?
Wait a second. Give us a
TH,
minute.
thorium.
So we write TH beside it, and we have filled in the blank line.
How do you say that?
Thorium.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
Thorium,
What
TH.
is that?
It's right here at the bottom.
It's not named after Thor either.
It's 230.
No, we're looking at 90.
That would make
Oh.
sense. Gamma radiation. Boy.
Everyone that said it.
I'm funny.
I don't know if they got it or not.
I don't think they do.
Wait, what?
We got it. That was
All right, so if I ask you how much atomic number changed by, atomic number started at what? And it changed to 90. It started at 92 and it changed to 90. How much did atomic number change by? Did it increase or decrease? Okay, so when you undergo alpha radiation, it decreases by 2. All right, what did atomic mass do? By how much? So, anytime you undergo alpha radiation, what has to happen? They have to decrease. Okay? Everything decreases in alpha radiation. Not in alpha. Hold that thought. Okay?
No, now you want to confuse.
Right.
It does increase in something, but not in alpha.
One will be like increase, other one will be like decrease.
One's going to be an increase, decrease. Well, really, it's a stay the same increase. But alpha decreases in both. Okay? All right, we're ready to do beta?
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
All right, beta, if I change the definition, it's the loss of a what? All right, it's the loss of an electron, or we can just say a beta particle. Because beta is an electron. All right, so the equation. Let's say it's a C with a 14 and a 6 this time. So, again, you want to be able to fill in the blank line.
Guess I gotta get.
So, 14's on the left, right?
Sure.
What plus 0 will give you 14 on the right?
14.
So we're going to put a 14 here. All right. -1 plus what will give us 6?
7.
Okay. So what do I look up? The 14 or the 7?
It's nitrogen. 7.
We look up the 7 and it's who?
Nitrogen.
Wait, how did you get 14? Why didn't like it?
Because remember, this is the equal sign, right? So the mass on this side is 14. So 14 plus 0 is what? 14. Anybody else have a question?
No.
Now, what if I had said to you, what kind of decay takes place in this equation? How do you know it's beta decay other than I have beta written at the top of the board?
Well, one of them stays the same and another one.
Easier than that. How do you know it's beta decay other than I have beta written at the top of the board?
It has the E.
There you go. This right here tells you it's beta. This right here tells you it's what? That tells you it's alpha. If you see a helium, that says I'm alpha decay. If you see a beta or an electron there, that says I'm beta decay. All right? How much did the atomic number change by? Look at your atomic number. Y'all are on mass. It went from 6 to what? So it did what? It increased by, okay, it increased by 1. All right, and what did mass do? Stayed same. So alpha decreased on both, and beta increased and stayed the same. So for the most part, if you can remember that beta, or alpha, sorry, decreased on both of them, and beta's the one that's oddball, you can probably guess pretty well on the test. Yes, sir. Atomic number, yes. The 7.
That means you can stop taking homework, right?
Me?
Right.
I never said that. I said I wouldn't give you another quiz.
Practice it.
Tonight would probably be the last night I would check homework because tonight's the last night I'm giving homework other than test review. And it's easy. It's on this. Okay? Everybody got it? All right. Do those two real quick. No, I hit it with the arrow. It's not magic. All right, do those real quick. Find me the answers. Do it in your head or without yelling out the answers so other people can do it. Then move closer.
No, my eyes are janky.
I don't know what you want me to do about the janky.
Okay, so the second
You can try pulling your glasses down off your head.
No, putting on my glasses makes it worse.
Oh,
Something wrong with my eye. I don't know.
I don't either.
Maybe you gotta stop.
I know that's what everybody's saying.
That's what it looks like. Let me see.
I mean, I'll put it in the college. Let me touch it. Oh, it hurts. I'm not gonna get it hard. It don't matter. Blinking hurts. I knew I didn't end up doing that.
I'm glad you don't have to.
What is 30?
And it wasn't itching.
You probably gotta stop.
Atomic number.
I told you. Yeah, yeah, you got to. I told you to legs. I think so. Any type of license medical stuff. You better.
I don't know. I got on it with my shot. I got on it with my shot.
That's different. Everybody knows.
That's like an equal sign. Oh, yeah.
I need an app.
All right, we got them?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so if we look at the top one, what kind of decay is it?
Beta.
All right, it's beta decay. So 0 plus what? 239. And what number here? And what element? Very good. All right, what kind of decay here? All right, and I put both of them on the same side. So what are we going to do here to get the number? Add. So you get what? 238. And here? And what element? Any issues with doing that? Very nice.
We
We
done?
don't need that. All right, fission and fusion.
What?
We only have 2 things left. This and
Class is about
half-life. All right. Now, think about this. What is fusion in English class? What does it mean to fuse?
To put together.
To put together. So fission is the opposite. So what does fission mean? To separate. So fission is a large nucleus splits apart. Okay? A large nucleus splits apart. Okay? Okay? A neutron would hit a uranium-235 and it splits into barium and krypton. I can't remember. I think it's a 141 and a 92, but I can't swear to that. And a neutron. Now, that neutron then hits another uranium-235, which then splits into another barium and into another krypton and into another neutron. That neutron hits another uranium-235. Now, this happens over and over again, and it's called a chain reaction. Okay? Now, fission is what we use, okay, for nuclear reactions, okay, such as power plants and nuclear weapons.
Get out of here.
Okay. Okay. We use fission for nuclear reactions, power plants, and nuclear weapons are two examples. Now, fusion is when things come together. We cannot use fusion on the Earth. Okay? We can't control it. We can control fission. Okay? We can control a power plant. We can control that. Nuclear weapons are designed not to be controlled. This we can't. This is what we use when we use a nuclear weapon. Now, for homework tonight, I have two things because I have 5 minutes. Let's talk about that. Your homework that I would check would be this lovely nuclear review of what we've done.
Would check as in you might or might not.
Haven't decided yet. This will be the last time I will check home.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm going to give you the first practice test. I want you to do the first 20 questions.
Dang.
Dang.
Doing a great day.
I would consider writing that yes.
Alright, I got stuff. Which side do we do? Both of them?
Both of them.
No.
You have a calculator, put it up, please. Alright, so does everybody have the nuclear review sheet? Okay. Now, do not lose this packet that I'm giving you that has 40 questions on. I did not make spares. Nor do I plan to.
You sure have?
Yeah, let me do it.
Nathan was where? Here?
Got it, bro.
Okay.
I'm trying to get this. I'm not trying to get this.
You need to switch up. Get us something.
Oh, no.
Oh, bro, boy, I hate
All right, did everybody get a review packet? 1 through 20.
I get it.
If we do our review packet, we get credit.
So remember, if you want to come to the review, it's this afternoon at 3:40.